Hello everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. And this is the card we're going to make today. It's with a frog I made with the tiny gift box frog add-on from lawnfawn. And normally you would use that on a tiny gift box like the name would suggest. But I don't even have that die set, so I only have the add-ons because I like the critters you can make with it. And I paired it with the stitched cupcake. And I think it's a very cute combination of the two. So, let's start with making the frog. I already die cut all these bits and pieces for making the frog. And also for the cupcake, but I will start with that later. So, this is the die set with all the different things. This is for the body of the frog, his legs and his front legs. And you can use this piece, like I got it here in black. You can use it to layer it behind it, so you have the eyes and the mouth. And I got that from some colored cardstock. And now I'm going to ink blend some of the parts to give it a little more depth. In my previous life we made a die cut card also, where I did that too. And like I said there, it isn't necessary to add the ink to the things you die cut, but it adds something to it, so I like to do it. So let's put this aside, and I will put this aside a little bit, and I'm taking my glass work surface for a bit because it's easier to clean. For this one I used mowed lawn, distress oxide mowed lawn with a blending brush. So I'm taking a little ink, and because the legs will be here, I blend in the corners mostly, because the middle part will be covered up with a belly piece, so only need to add some ink here. And I bring it a little higher up because of those legs. So that's it for the body. And let's do the legs also. I want this side of the leg a little lighter, so I'm only going to blend here. Hi Sophie, nice to see you. So that is one leg, and let's do the other one. And I love doing this with blending brushes because you have a little more control, and it takes up less ink, so it doesn't get all blotchy. Hi Kim! Let's see what's next. Oh yeah, let's also add a little bit of ink to the paws, legs, whatever it's called. His hands, if you would like to say that. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it for the body of the frog. So let's put this aside. And now I'm going to assemble my frog. So I'm using liquid glue and some tweezers. And I cut this part for making a belly. So I'm gluing that up first. That's a little bit off. And I used the same pieces to cut some darker green cardstock, so the spots on the legs can be filled in. And as you can see, it sticks out just a little bit. So I'm cutting off a small piece. That way it fits behind. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'm here to talk about things while I'm making this card. So let's do the same for the other one. It would fit behind, but I like to cut off a piece. So that are his legs. Let me see. For the black piece, like I showed you earlier, you can put that behind him, so his mouth and eyes are filled in. So I'm adding glue around those areas. And he needs little cheeks, because that's super cute. That's one. Let's do the other one. Like that. Now for his legs. You can glue however you like. So you can do this because it are his behind legs. But I want the little spots to be seen. So I thought of doing it like this. And then put his front legs something like this, and it's super cute too, so that's what I chose. a glue blob here. And the other leg. And now I'm going to add the front legs. I have a little bit of glue here and there, so let me remove that with this thing. I really don't know how it's called in English, but this kind of rubber thing you can remove glue stains. And then for his little party hats. This is from the Stitched Cupcake set, so let me pick that one. So that's this one, and as you can see you have the two-parted party hats, so you can cut one piece in yellow and one piece in blue and glue those together. And with a little bit of glue, I can glue that to his cute little face. So, that's Mr. Frog. Ready to go. Now, for the Stitched Cupcake, like I said, I already cut some things. Let me first assemble the cupcake itself. So I used some pattern paper for the base. And I used a paper, this is a watercolor paper, because it's a little bit off-white. And it has a little texture, so I like that for the frosting. And I use this canvas paper, it's also very off-white. And I'm going to blend a little bit of color to that, because it's a very pale cupcake now. Let's put Mr. Frog aside for a bit. Let's take the other side of the glass work surface. And let me see some Distress Oxide vintage photo. And another blending brush, because I don't want any green on my cupcake. I'm going to blend very, very lightly, because I don't want to make it a chocolate cupcake, I just want to add a little bit of color. And I don't have to blend all the way to the top, because it will be covered with frosting. So, like that. He's so cute. Mr. Frog turned out splendid. Thank you. He is very adorable, if I say so myself. So, for assembling this, I'm gluing the Cupcake to the base. You can do it the other way around, so you can see the wrapper of the cupcake for a little bit, scalloped edge. But I wanted to look like a very big, fluffy cupcake. And I'm also adding the frosting. And now I can assemble the candle. So again, this is like the party hat for the frog. It has a base and a striped layer you can cut to go on top of that, and the flame in two parts. So what I want to do is color in this tiny piece here with a little bit of black, so I don't have to cut another piece of paper for the wig. So I made that black. Now I'm going to glue the first part of the flame, which I cut in orange. And then glue this yellow part on top of that. And now I'm adding the striped piece to the candle itself. As you might notice, I use very little glue because you don't need to have glue everywhere. You will only get some glue blobs here and there, and it's not like it's not glued down properly with just a little glue if you use the right glue. I use a tacky glue because that works really well with paper, and I've not a special brand or something, it's just from the Dollar Tree. So this is an opening in the cupcake, and I want to put the candle in there, in the frosting, not in the cupcake. And then I'm adding a little bit of glue behind the candle, making sure it's straight. And now we have a delicious birthday cupcake. Now I need to make the background for the card. So I already made a top folded card base, which will be in landscape, so it's a side fold technically. And I cut a pattern paper, which I already glued on with my ATG gun. And I cut a white piece of paper that's suitable for ink blending. And I did that with a large and small staged rectangle stackables from lawnfawn. These are my favorite basic dies to use because I like to make my cards with a little bit of a pattern paper background and the main piece of the card inside of that. So I always try to layer that if possible. And so we are blending on the background on this one. And I'm doing that with the Lots of Stars background stencils from lawnfawn. It's a 2-piece stencil set, which I don't know if you can see it on camera. I think so. You can see it forms 2 layers of stars, which makes one full background. But I will only use one, and I'm checking if this is the one I want. I think so, because where the frog is, I stamped this Hop Hop Hooray in a little bit of empty space. And I think this is that empty space. So this is perfect. I'm going to take my magnetic platform, because I love to use that with stencils nowadays. I used to tape things down to my desk, which is also fine, but this is also very easy to use. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is alright. So I'm using my magnets to hold things down. And when I'm done blending on this side, I will move the magnets over to blend this side. So I'm doing that with squeezed lemonade distress oxide and yet another blending brush, because I don't want any brown or any green on my backgrounds. And using a blending brush for stencils just gives some more control. You really get into the openings of the stencils. You can also use a domed ink blending tool, but the flat ones, the standard ones, don't really work well with that. So when everything on this side is blended well, I put a finger on the stencil to keep everything down, because I don't want things to move. And then I move my magnets. And while I'm ink blending, I'm still holding the stencil just to make sure things don't move, but it helps to have the magnets there, so you don't have to press so hard. Like that. Now I'm carefully removing my stencil. I'm always checking if I have everything covered. That's looking great, so I put this aside for cleaning later. And this one too. That single candle on it is so cute. It so is. Thanks. I think it's really cute too. Like it's the frog made you a cupcake with just a single candle in it. It's really adorable. So this is my background, and Froggy is going to be somewhere over here, and the cupcake is going to be somewhere over here. And now I can place my stamps. So I'm having this party kangaroo from lawnfawn. It's one of the freebies you get while you order for your birthday. You get a code and you get this free stamp set. It differs every year. And I think it's perfect to use the Hop Hop Hooray. So if I move him a little bit, I think it fits really, really well here in that flow of the stars. So I'm taking my mini Misty, carefully transferring the background to it. Hold everything down with my magnets. Pick up the stamp. And I'm just using my lawnfawn jet black ink to stamp it. And I'm going to stamp till I have a nice and crisp impression. That's also why I do it in my Misty. And maybe one more time. Like that. Now I'm taking a moist chamois to clean off my stamp. And I can put it back on the plastic sheet. Now I'm also stamping on a sentiment. The Let's Celebrate is from the holiday party animal. So that's this one. Let's celebrate. Over here, it's portrait. Hi Peter, wanted to pop in, can't stay long and though. That frog is adorable. Hi Marcy, nice to see you. Doesn't matter that you can't stay all the time. Super fun just seeing you here. And let me see, I'm also having a happy birthday. You can find that one in a lot of lawnfawn stamp sets, but I picked this one, the How You Been Star add-on, with the happy birthday stamp. It's nice and small. Oh, I picked the wrong one. Which would also work, many congrats. But I'm going for happy birthday. I'm not going to stamp these together because I want the happy birthday a little higher up. Almost into the Let's Celebrate. But now I can see where I would want things. So just a little higher up. I think this would be great. So I'm picking that up with my Misty door. And I'm going to stamp that with Distress Oxide Peacock Feathers. And again, I'm stamping till I'm happy with the impression it gives. And that's why I'm stamping in my Misty. So that looks good. Let me clean off the stamp. And my thumb for a little bit because I grabbed into the ink pad. Now I can put back the Let's Celebrate stamp. And now I'm going to stamp the happy birthday one. I'm being careful because the ink is still a little bit wet. Let me see. I think this is alright. So I picked it up. And I'm using this says Oxide Mode Lawn again. I use this for the frog as well. And again, I'm stamping this till I'm happy with the results. And I picked these two colors because they come back into my design. So the frog has a same kind of color as peacock feathers, and the candle in the cupcake also. And the green is a little bit like the frog is. So that's super cute. Cleaning that off. And I'm adding that back to my stamp set. I'm always either doing that, like putting it back on my stamp set, or I'm placing it on a large acrylic block because I don't want to misplace my stamps. So that's my background. Let me take a sip of water because it's very warm over here. And now we only need to assemble the card. So this is the craft paper card base I showed earlier with the pattern paper. And I always like to add this with some tin foam tape. This is the one I have. Like you can see, it's very thin. And it just pops off that background from the card a little without making the card very bulky. I always do the outer sides first. And then I do one in the middle. And then I'm filling in those gaps. Because I want the background be very supported on my card. So I'm peeling off the backing paper. Like that. And now I'm taking the rag I used to clean my desk with, and I'm just making the foam tape a little less sticky with it. If it's a little less warm weather and I'm wearing a hoodie, I'm using my sleeve for that. And I like to make it a little less tacky because it's very hard to properly align this on your card, because it's so sticky it will almost pull itself to the card, stick down right away, and don't give you any room to align it properly. And if you make it just a little less sticky, it will still adhere great. but it will be much easier. Now for the frog and the cupcake, I want to add some highlights, just a few. So on the candle, I'm using the same white gel pen I also use when I color images. And it's not like it's necessary to do this on your die cut images, but it just gives a little bit extra. So, like that. And now I'm using the same foam tape to add these to my card. Marcy says, I've been practicing my white gel pen highlights. And how are things going, Marcy? I'm very curious. Let's do the same for the cupcake right away. This piece is a little too big, so I need to cut off a little bit. Yeah, that's right. So now I'm going to adhere them. So I'm pulling off the backings. And I'm not using my cleaning cloth to make this less sticky, because this is just easier to align on your card. Hi Carrie, hello Peter, how are things in the Netherlands today? Well, it's very, very hot weather. So all the Dutch people are almost melting. We're not very good in hot weather. But for the rest, everything's going fine. So happy to see you here. So that is Mr. Froggy. For the other people in the chat, be sure to check out Carrie. She also makes card making videos on YouTube, and she's just the sweetest person around. She also organizes the Lawnfawn fan shop, which I'm part of too, so it's super fun to check out. Now positioning my cupcake next to Mr. Froggy. And that's it. This is the finished card. Let me pick the card I made for example. So you can see it's just a little bit different. It's almost the same, but just a little bit, like the colors of the stars are just a bit different. I used another color for the frog, but I'm not a machine, so yeah, this is just fine. Let me give you a closer look. Hope you have AC, Peter. I'm almost melted. I don't have AC, but our apartment is very okay. It's been usually cool here in Idaho for summer and I'm enjoying a lot. Soon enough it will be very hot. That sounds lovely to have a little bit of a cooler air going around. Oh, thanks Peter. Very welcome, Carrie. Very lovely frog, by the way, love it. Thank you. A lot of Europe is going through a heat wave right now, which is nice, but as you mentioned, hard to deal with when you aren't used to heat. Yeah, it's the worst. Super cute card. Thanks, Gary. So we did an all die cut card in my last live stream. And here's another one. I love coloring images and making scenes, but I recently also love making die cut cards. Just like having a change of pace. It's very fun and you can get creative in an entirely other way. I love your cards, thank you. I think it turned out super cute. If you want to add a little bit extra, you could also use a little bit of glossy accents on the flame, for example. To give it just a little bit extra. And you could also use some embellishments here and there. Like some clear drops or some nouveau drops, if you would like to. I think it's fine as it is, but some suggestions. I don't know if you have any questions for me, because I would love to answer those. Frogolicious. Do you hear that, Mr. Frog? You're frogolicious. The card turned out superb. Thank you, Sophie. For my next live stream, I also planned a die cut card with the succulents from lawnfawn. I'm not sure when I'm going live next time. I think next Saturday, but I have to check if I can do that. But that's just a little sneak peek for you. Maybe I can do an actual sneak peek, because I have the card over here. I'm just going to show you a very small piece. Let me cover it up with a small piece of paper. So this is the next card we're going to make in the live. So stay tuned for that. And if there aren't any questions, I'm going to end the live stream here. I'm very happy to see you guys here. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. You can also ring the bell. Oh, my husband already says it in chat too. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you know exactly when he'll be live again. Thanks, honey. Marcy says we'll look forward to it. Thanks, Marcy. Looks good. Excited to see it. Thank you, guys. So, that was it for today. Oh, my cam already decided to quit. So let's go to the stream ending page. Thank you guys for being here, and I'm looking forward to see you in my next live. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.